Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, I'm back out at Performance and Repair Specialties along with Brownie. Last time I was out here, I gave you guys a little tour of the shop and introduced you to Kelly, the owner, and we put on a performance suspension system. So you probably can't tell a lot of difference. It's about 2 inches higher than stock, but it's got all brand new front struts on it, and it no longer sits with the nose down. So the factory Silverados have the nose down. It's actually got the nose up and perfectly level. And it's, like I said, it sits about 2 inches higher. New shocks on the back. The ride out in the woods, a big truck coming by. The ride out in the woods is dramatically different than it was before. So it's a much better system. I'm gonna show you what else we did while we were out here last time. So the other thing we did is I had to mount a shovel right here on the side where it's really easy to get in and out. So all I got to do is unclip these and then pull my shovel out and clip it back in when I'm not using it. And again, you know, I'm not trying to build a great big off-road truck. I'm trying to build a bushcraft truck that is super reliable and performs very well. So again, behind the, you know, the back seats, or behind the front seats where the back seats would be, they're folded up. I've got all my survival gear. I've got, you know, my tactical seat covers filled with more survival gear. I'm going to go over with that in a video soon. We did the performance suspension system, a little more ground clearance. Rides level, rides much better on the rough roads. We have the 10-ply mud terrain tires, so I'm definitely going to get through the mud and get back to town. Having the shovel mounted back here in the back end where I can just grab it at any time has been super handy. I've been able to just drop the tailgate and take it out, and I have an axe and other tools all behind the seat in front. Well, today we're out here and we are going to put on a performance cold air intake system, and I'll go over the specific brand with you, or perhaps have Kelly do it here shortly, tell you about some of the advantages of why we chose this brand. But as we were looking through, as far as reliability, performance, horsepower, torque increase, much more airflow and everything, it looked like this was going to be the best setup. So we're going to take a look at that. I'll have Kelly talk to you for a few minutes, and then I'm going to shut this video off because I need my phone and my truck's going to be in the shop for a couple hours. We're going to come back right behind this and do a second video when that's installed and road test it so you guys can hear it and see how it performs. Let me give you a quick look under the hood so you can see everything as it is now. Okay. Nice and clean. This is an amazingly clean truck, 2012, but this is just the factory intake that is in there now, and everything is factory, and we're going to be changing that intake system out. So once we're done, before we hit the road, we'll show you what it all looks like installed, and then we'll go out and do a road test. So let me go inside and get with Kelly and have him share with you guys. Again, he's the one helping me make the decisions on what to do. Have him share with you why we chose this cold air intake. All right, guys, so I'm inside the store with Kyle. That is actually Kelly's son. And I had ordered an extra filter with the system. So before we go back out to the shop and look at the whole system, I was going to have Kyle explain to you a little bit about this filter, and again, why this is going to be so much superior to what we have in there now.
Morning, guys. So this is one of AFE's extra filters, just separate from the cold air intake. One thing we really like about it is it's got multiple seal points for the actual installation. We've got a nice bit of rib on the inside of the ring here for where the actual intake hose into the engine goes, and we've got an extra bit of ribbing right around here that goes in the intake box itself. So it only has air and dust going to the actual filter media where it's supposed to be when it's installed. This is a oiled style filter, not a dry filter. Advantages of those versus a dry filter is it can kind of help catch the dust particulates just a little bit better, and then when they start getting just a tiny bit dirtier, they will actually still keep working and be a little bit more efficient, just because they'll use the big dirt particles to kind of trap the smaller dirt particles. Because they're an oil filter, they're washable. They're not necessarily something you just have to rip out and throw away once they've been used one time, which is also good for long-term serviceability. As far as advantages versus a factory air filter, you do have a bigger filter, which is needed with a bigger air volume intake to not restrict airflow. Outside of that, it's just a matter of, where you're using it. If you're using it just on the road, this wouldn't necessarily be better. It'd be cooler, but it wouldn't necessarily be better. As far as going off-road in super dirty environments, this can definitely help alleviate a lot of the potential dirt ingestion issues that could lead to a plugged air filter, just by basis of it being A, physically bigger surface, and B, it just is able to do its job a little bit more efficiently even when it starts getting dirty.
And so where I'm out miles and miles away from town on dirty, dusty roads, especially in the summer, this is going to make my truck more reliable.
It's at least going to help with any potential issues that might be just from regular running down the road.
Nice. All right. Okay, guys, we're going to head out to the shop and we're going to take a look at the whole system before it gets installed. Okay guys, so that was the system all laid out that is now being installed on the truck. And of course you remember Kelly, the owner. Kelly, why did we choose this system over all the other brands out there, or all the other styles, maybe I should say?
Yeah, style's probably the best. AFE's just got good product, simply. But one of the things that people kind of get hung up on is they want a cold air intake, and then you open the hood and you see the air filter there. Well, that is exactly the opposite. You're literally just sucking all that hot air into your engine, which does nothing for performance. It looks cool.
So it looks cool, it sounds cool, but you're not really helping the performance.
It's usually going downhill because hot air is bad air. You don't want
Gotcha.
that. AFE in any quality intake is going to pull the air from outside. And then for you, the added benefit is you're pulling cool, clean air into your intake. Under the hood's a dirty place.
Right.
There's lots of dust and everything when you're going down the road. So this, again, kind of uses some of the factory air inlet areas. They optimize it, bigger inlet, and then it's just got a massive air filter, which again, in a dusty environment, very important.
Yeah, and it said something on the box. It said something like 56% increase in airflow, I guess, which is a lot.
It's a ton. It's not like you're gonna get 50% increase in horsepower. We wish it would be that easy. But it's a huge increase. But again, these guys actually engineer their parts. And sometimes bigger isn't always better. There's some places you can increase things and it helps, and there's some places it just makes noise. And while noise is fun, we don't want it to be a detriment. Like I said, we don't want to suck hot air in there, because when it's 100 degrees outside and it's 150 degrees under the hood, and if you're pulling that hot air into your engine, you're going the wrong way.
Right. We want the performance and reliability, and of course it will give a little bit of horsepower and torque.
You're going to have some small gains there. The challenge is these modern vehicles, which I consider this modern vehicle, they're pretty well optimized power-wise. It's tough to get a lot, but it's better. You got a lot better filtration. You got a bigger filter. You've got better airflow. You're certainly going to get a little bit of that intake sound that you're looking for. Yeah. And so those things are all worth it for sure.
Great. All right, guys. So we will come back. AFE is the brand, right? Yep. AFE, and it wasn't called like the Momentum or something like
Momentum.
that.
It's airflow engineering, and that's
airflow engineering momentum system. So when we come back, guys, there'll be a part 2 coming up right behind this video. I'll show you what it looks like installed, and then we will go road test this and hopefully not have any state cops following me when I do.